Speak about entrepreneurship, innovation, and technology. From our main headquarters in Finland, today we have a super guest. We are going to be speaking with Agur Jõgi, which is the CTO of Pipe Drive, one of the unicorns from Estonia. So then we are going to be running the intro, and then we speak with Agur. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Agur Jõgi, for having time for this interview.
Thank you for inviting, and thank you for really energizing intro video. It's like, so let's go and break things, and that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go. First of all, how was the start of Pipe Drive? Everybody which is involved into the entrepreneur ecosystem knows that the story goes back to Estonia, to a garage. But if you can tell us how really started.
Yes, it started at 2010. So Pipe Drive is nearing its 15th birthday party. I wasn't the founding member, but as Estonia is a relatively small country compared even to Finland, we are small. So it's just 1 million people living in Estonia. Then active people know each other, and I know well few of the founders. Pipe Drive was founded by 5 gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
They all were or the technical and entrepreneurial background, or with a really top-notch sales background. So what the Pipe Drive is? Pipe Drive is a sales software for small businesses. Our mission is to enable small companies to grow. And how it started? It's not a joke. It's pretty close to a garage. It's not like exactly a garage, but it's the summer house of one of the early angel investors.
Oh, I got that.
Like yeah. So the company story was like a beautiful start. And then, like it's always, you need to get to the breakthrough. And during the breakthrough, the times are not always so sunny. And at one moment, it was pretty rainy. And then, luckily, one of the angel investors was willing to contribute his sauna in his summer camp, so that the team had room still to work. And then those beautiful brains came together and made it all to happen. So that's the very beginning. It's really close to get started from the garage. So it's almost that.
Yeah, it's that everybody thinks that almost all the startups start from this garage, because maybe related to the story of how Apple started, but it's very nice.
Yeah, it's like in Silicon Valley. I think that probably like HP, Google, like Apple, many of those early days, nowadays, like big companies, they actually started from garage. Mm-hmm. So the story comes from there, and we are pretty good to follow this discipline here in Estonia also.
Amazing. And let's start like digging up into that. And in your opinion, what has been the most significant technology challenge that Pipe Drive has faced so far?
Well, I think that you need to put the things slightly into the perspective. Those challenges that company had, like in 2010 on very early days, or like when the company started to grow and scale up, like 2014, the technology was something completely different compared to what it is today. Pipe Drive has like more than 100,000 customers in 180 plus different countries. So one of the challenges was like just one of those, and there were many, but one of those was always like, okay, the sales is all about the data and the information. So how to organize the information? If you know that you want to grow globally, you want to provide very smooth user experience, then should you go for a really well-known database engine, which is kind of expensive, and it's performing, but it's also limiting, and startup doesn't have much money, so you need to be creative how to provide all what your customers need, but being creative with efficiency. So our database architecture, I think it's really unique. The early days founders and the engineers made really smart choices, and that still enables us and empowers us to move as fast and as quick as we want to. So like this selection, like it might sound trivial, but it's actually not, like because like switching from one database architecture to another in the later phase, it's uber complicated. So the first choice must be smart, and we luckily made a really smart choice.
Nice, very nice to know that. And you talk about database. You talk about a little bit of interface, but what I know is that Pipedrive is known for its user-friendly interface, so to speak. And how you were able to evolve in order to meet the changing needs of the businesses, like in the past 15 years?
Really good question, and I think it's a very important question to every startup who is willing really to grow and to become a global. I think that we had like two key elements in place. Two of our 5 founders were really globally top-notch salespeople, so they knew inside out how the sales actually is done. Before founding the Pipedrive, they were salespeople by themselves. They were training salespeople, so they knew the industry. So that's one. You must know what you are doing, what is the actual problem you are solving, and then how the solution actually should be perceived by your users and customers. And then the second element was like brutal focus. That was really hardcore discipline. Like, we are solving the sales problem for small businesses. We are not doing it for the global enterprises. We are not doing a little bit of marketing and little bit of project management and a little bit of something else. We are solving the sales need for small and medium-sized businesses. So the brutal focus and industry knowledge, and really having those both in the room every day, that enabled us to stay focused. And like, if you know what your customers need, if you know how the life actually happens, then it's not like easy peasy, but it's kind of enabling you to bring in this, like being simple, being nice, easy to use, and then being smooth for your customers.
Is any knowledge or is any learning in that process, because you are working with small and medium businesses, is there any knowledge that you need to know if you are in a startup, how to keep up working with your customers along the way?
Yeah, you always need to be with your customers. Before you start building something, you need to talk to your actual customers and to ask that, and then to find out, does this problem actually exist? Is this solution that you are going to build, is this actually the solution your customers are expecting? So the constant contact with your customer, and then the brutal focus also, like that looks like a coffee cup, and it is a coffee cup. But if you turn it around, then what you can see here, coffee is for closers only. So our software engineers, our marketing people, our design people, our accountants, they drink the coffee in the office every day from this cup. And this cup always remembers what is the most important for our customers. Like, if you're a salesperson, then your only goal is to close deals. Like, close the deal, close the deal, close the deal, close the deal. So you need to keep your company focused on that. So I think it's truly important, not just understanding the business, but also being focused, because it's so easy to start fading away. Let's do a bit of like extra design, or let's do a little more of this or a little more of that. You always need to ask that, will that help to close more deals?
How you can keep that focus when you are trying at the same time to thrive and to scale? Because now Pipe Drive is one of the best known CRMs all around the world. So at the same time of being able to keep connected to its customers, at the same time were the challenge to keep on growing. So how you can keep that focus on?
I think that's yet another piece of smartness from our founders. They put a focus on a company culture and our way of working, like since really early days. Pipedrive is hosting in Medium our Pipedrive engineering blog. So if you will Google Pipedrive engineering blog, you can find it. And there you can see also a lot of articles of our way of working. We've been spending a lot of time with other global big companies like Spotify, for example. They have the Spotify way of working, and then we have the Pipedrive mission framework. Describing that how we organize our job. The core essence is that we have split our team and organization into the small tribes.
Okay.
So every tribe has end-to-end ownership on over certain feature and functionality. They own the customer contacts, they own the maintenance, they own the security, they own the development. And that enabled us actually to spread the thinking, planning, and working across like everybody in Pipedrive, in R&D department. Everybody is actually has a say to what we build, how we build. Everybody has to go and to talk to customers, to read the customer notes. And so like it's not only one or two or three smart people somewhere or architects or senior gurus who say decide what we do. We actually enable the whole organization to be part of the planning process, the learning process, the feedback process. So like if I have if I'm ill, nothing happens. Someone will cover me up, and then that's the same. That's goes throughout the organization. One engineer is out, two other engineers can cover. Of course, you go a bit slower maybe, but we're all in the same ecosystem, and then that really started from the first days. And then this shows the smartness of the founders. And we also publish like every morning. We published our Slack channel called Bismetrics, really transparently how we are doing, what we lost, what we won, where are the challenges. So every single Pipedrive employee knows every morning that how the business is going. And then you can put your focus, and then if you can't understand, you can walk to your manager and have a chat, and then you will know like how to put the focus. So it's again like it's not depending of one team lead or of one director or one exec, but it's all distributed across the company.
Very clever in order to work horizontally more than vertically, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then also like the organization is pretty thin. We have in Pipedrive close to 800 people. In my engineering department, we have slightly over 200 people. It's the CTO.
Yeah.
It's the senior leadership, and then we have teams and tribes. So it's very flat organization that we have in Pipedrive. So that enables like also the info to move really quick. And that also enables that people know where to go, who to talk, who to ask. So also the senior leadership is not like strange guys somewhere, but we sit in the same office, we walk the same corridors, and we join all the same meetings. So it's all about this like very fluid way of working and very humble way of working.
Yeah. We speak a little about the story and how you are able to thrive, but I want to take now the conversation for a more actual timing. This past week, you visited Bilbao in Spain.
Yes.
For the first ever Slush event in Spain. How was that?
It's like Nordic one word way to say amazing.
Okay.
The slightly longer version, I think that there is definitely a team behind that. But what Peter Westerbacka has been pushing for, and the messages that he shared from the floor, that was so powerful. Like not creating small communities in different places, but with the aim to have the global European startup ecosystem. And then I physically felt like during those days, those 2 days were really exhausting. But I met like several of Pipedrive customers. I hope I found some partners to us, like who are helping, starting to help like Pipedrive to grow. And then the people were eager to learn, to share. So it was like really this like startup-ish vibe. It's
Okay.
like there are the conferences, you go there, you listen to pitches, maybe sometimes you learn something, maybe you don't. And then there are this really good startup type and then growth oriented conferences, and the Slush was one of those. In between those talks from the stage,
Okay.
10
And
times more happened. So it
yeah,
was like it was a really great experience.
and while you were doing this presentation and speaking with other startups, were able to speak a little bit about the biggest trends that are now shaping the CRM industry?
Um, I think that or at least how we see it in Pipedrive, that the tools must enable professionals to perform as productively as possible.
Mhm.
And earlier we already mentioned that the goal for the salespeople is to close deals,
Yeah.
and then hopefully to close as healthy deals as fast as possible. And then that means that you need to go through a ton of data to be able to select that what should be my next move, to whom should I call, to whom should I send an email, what about I'm sure I have to talk this time, and what info was missing from the previous contact. And we've seen that still, at least in small and medium-sized companies area, salespeople are spending more than half of their time with non-so productive activities like preparing for those calls, for those meetings.
Yeah.
And then one of our missions is that that Pipedrive as a software, as a CRM, should be telling to you in an easily understandable way that what should be your next action with which of the next leads or sales opportunities, so that you can spend like most of your day on really negotiating and closing deals, not on preparing for those calls. And here, what is the trend? Of course, the AI democratization. It's accessible to everyone. It's nice.
Yeah.
Everybody can use it, but it's also quite a pain because if you used to have a lot of info behind the Google search, then now we have like billion X data available. So like more data is not necessarily always good. You need to find a way how to structure the data into the usable format.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, that one of the next challenges for CRMs. We all open the gate to enormous amount of new data, which you can put into use. But you need to find a way how to put it into the use in a productive way, so that your users are really going to close more deals, not like just to make more calls or to send more emails, but to close more deals and to find the relations and patterns in between of this huge data available and actual success happening.
So you, in other words, you are saying that one of the things that Pipedrive is now working on is trying to show the users like the most simple and easy way to understand the whole data that you are gathering, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, you create your LinkedIn account and you basically have like hundreds of thousands contacts potentially in your reach.
Mm-hmm.
Where to start from?
Okay.
You need a good hint that to whom I need to send my first intro and to whom I need to send my second intro, so that there will be the highest chance for me to get the deal closed. Because the finding the info is not a challenge anymore, but ordering and prioritizing this info and knowing who needs what. Some people like, you like email, I like Slack. If I mix up channels, then nothing happens because you don't like Slack and I don't read emails. Doesn't matter how good email you send to me, it never reaches the target because I don't read emails. So like there is so much supportive data that you need to take into account when putting up those proposals and suggestions for your customers. And then this is the beautiful challenge that we are working at in Pipe Drive.
And in that sense, you mentioned that, of course, AI and machine learning is getting involved, but can we trust it? I ask you because in the world picture is that from one side, meaning United States and Latin America are trying to thrive on AI, while in this other part of the world, from Europe, we are seeing AI as a very interesting tool, but we are taking, like, I don't know if I can say, slower steps, because we are trying to see how our data is safe while we are working through the machine learning and AI. So that in that sense, we can say that it's a very good thing to add AI and machine learning into a platform as a CRM, as a pipe drive. But is really trustworthy in order to use it? Will it guide us as users of Pipe Drive in a right way?
I think there is no like right or wrong answer. There is like in a shorter perspective, the rest of the world is definitely moving faster as they are not restricting themselves so much. In a mid-term or in a slightly longer term, I think that Europe has a great chance to win, because at first, like, those regulations might look like annoying, but those are actually creating the trust, as those regulations are telling pretty clearly that under what circumstances something actually can be happening. And if you know that your data is protected against a list of main threats, then it's kind of it's the first step to build the trust towards those AI models, because otherwise, they look like the black box and asking the same question from different models, like ask the same question from ChatGPT, from Claude, you will get like 7 different answers. So you truly can't trust. And then you don't know how the machinery works. So I think that is like European focus on regulation is actually helping to overcome this. In a short term, yes, it feels like the rest of the world is running away and we do nothing. But it's not necessarily actually the midterm problem, by my personal opinion at least. And then in Pipe Drive, we value the customer data security a lot. And then with every experiments we run, we have our like legal and compliance people really close, like involved in those initiatives. And maybe last not least is that those global companies from the rest of the world, from the US, from Latin, from China, like at one moment they want to reach to the European market also, and then they have to comply with the European regulations, as they can't enter the European market if they are not meeting those European regulations. And then like European-based companies or the Europe first companies, their start is maybe slower because they need to find a way how to meet regulations since day one. But I think that all in all, it's actually a faster way, because if you comply with the European regulations, you are then more or less comply with everything in the world.
Yeah.
If you are coming from less restricted markets, then you have your product already working, you have your solutions built, and if you then face that, wow, those do not comply, then like rebuilding something will be emotionally difficult, will be money-wise challenging, and that will be the moment where those slow start European companies will capture the rest of the world, because at one moment we all need to comply to the same rule set.
And in that sense, is there any new product that Pipedrive is building upon this all new technology that you may be releasing? I don't know, maybe this year or the next one.
We are not going to build any completely new software. We are sales CRM. We help small companies to grow, and we help customers to close more deals. But the way how we do that, we have a number of updated features, new look, new logic, like right now in the beta. Before the midsummer this year, we will launch several of those initiatives to the public audience. So those will go live. So we like the main focus is that if salespeople today like spend more than 50% of their time not selling but preparing for the sales pitch, then everything that we do is to enable them to start spending 50%, 60%, 70% of their time actually on sales activities.
Okay.
So it's still sales CRM, but the benefit we are bringing to our customer is actually to enable them to be more productive, and that's like the constant change. Of course, there are some visual changes, but it's mostly about like how we work with the data, and then how we present the data to our customers.
Yeah, it's like perfecting what you already have, right?
Yeah. It's again like remember we started and you asked that, okay, what made Pipedrive to grow and then to become successful? Know your industry, be focused.
Perfect.
So
and
here we are.
yeah, here we are. And besides that, is there any milestone you are preparing for this year, like understanding that everything is changing so fast?
You can say that AI is kind of the milestone. It's not a goal.
Okay.
I'm not saying that AI must be everywhere, but the one of the milestones for us absolutely is to understand if and where this technology can enable salespeople to succeed more. And this is not like just like one team or a few persons experiment, but it's that first like it's supporting all Pipedrive employees to find out that if and where this technology can help you to do your job better. And then if you know the basics of this technology, then also to be like laser focused on sales, small businesses, and then our target audience to see that how to put this technology into use. So we are like, there is always this technology hype curve. At first, like it's hype, boom, 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 boom. Then there's a disappointment, and then actually many technologies at one moment will find their place, and then the steady growth starts after that. So we're focusing on going through this hype cycle learning period as fast and as effectively as a company, not as a few individuals in companies. So we believe that AI has a strong future in the sales industry tomorrow. So we want to be ready for this tomorrow. Thus, we are running a number of experiments. As I said, like we have several new features in beta. So the first hundreds, in some cases, few thousand companies are trialing our beta programs. And now, like over the next few months, we are going to slightly to roll those out. So that's maybe the theme for this year. All in
Okay.
all, business-wise, we keep growing. We've been growing pretty much forever. And our aim is to keep growing and actually to boost the growth rates. So in this perspective, like we are 15 years old, we are unicorn, but we're not here to stop and to enjoy. We are here to keep growing and to become 3 times unicorn, 5 times unicorn.
In that sense, I have 2 more questions before we end our conversation. The first one is corporative, and the second one is personal. The corporative one is that understanding that you want to keep growing and make a 5-time unicorn and whatever. In that point of view, do you have a special market that you are aiming to grow to? I don't know, North America, Asia. Is there any one of those parts in the planet that has like a little bit more appealing right now?
Yes and no. No, because we have customers in 185 plus countries. So we are pretty much we are pretty much everywhere. So we don't have like this problem that we need to cover some area which we haven't been covering yet. Yes, we're really following closely how the trends are changing on the market, and you see what happens in the world and on stock exchanges right now. Last year, US were booming, Europe was like flat. Now the Europe is booming, US is going down. So I can't say that we have like a target that we must get this market. That's not that's not a topic. It's actually like constantly fine-tuning the balance where to put your focus, like where our customers need a bit more of our love, and where our customers are already happy and going well. And I think that maybe just as a fun fact to mention that during the Pipe Drive early days, where we still were trying to find a way how to start growing, then at one moment a blogger in Brazil somehow discovered Pipe Drive, and this an uber popular blog, and then just wrote an article about us that it looks to be a nice and decent software, and just if you have a need, then start using. And at one moment, I think Brazil was like 10% of our population.
Wow.
So it's like you need to build a good service and good product. But then you need to have a bit of luck also. And then Brazil is still very important to us. It's not anymore like so prominent in our customer base, but in our Tallinn office, I think the Brazilians are second or third biggest nationality in our office. Like we have 50 plus nationalities working for Pipe Drive, but somehow early years, long time ago, from one blog post,
Brazil is a continent by themselves. They are inside Latin America, but they are a continent by themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. And my personal question, and the last question of this interview, and thank you so much for your time. From your personal point of view, as the CTO of Pipe Drive, how do you think your role as a CTO will be evolving in the next years, especially thinking that in this fast-paced SaaS environment is changing because of the technology, it's changing because of the needs of the small and medium companies. How do you see that?
I think that my role is becoming more and more the facilitator and mentor type of role, like really utilizing my experiences from previous tech hype and market changes and economy downtimes and uptimes, because more and more data is accessible faster and faster. So like my role is to see that the Pipe Drive engineering team still keeps moving to one direction. not running like to 200 different directions. So it's more like asking kind of questions and making people to talk and to discuss before they start to act. I think that the early day startup CTOs, they define the technology the startup use, they define the strategy. In scale-ups and then in bigger companies, the role of exec level and C-level people, I think it's more to be sure that your people are empowered, they are educated, and they know the goal, and then to challenge your people to select the right tooling in their area to move and to meet the goal. So it's definitely not the role is not to be like the smartest technology person in the room. Then I think something is wrong if in like a global company the CTO is the smartest engineer. Then that's not a long-lasting story, a success story.
Okay. Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry. One advice, one tip for any small or medium company that are trying to rise. One tip in order to be able to close sales using technology.
Know your product, know your customer, and connect those two dots. You can't go out and just like, hey, we have produced something, start buying. You need to have the clear message that for you, the offer is this, and for you, the offer is slightly different, because you might need the same product, but your actual problem is slightly different. So my offering need to be phrased to meet your need, even if the product is at the end is exactly the same. So I need to understand what is your pain, what is your expectation, and then I need to connect my product to those two data points. And then that's exactly what we are doing and building here.
Agur Jõgi, thank you so much for your time, for this time to speak, for about the knowledge, and for telling us what's Pipe Drive doing and where it's headed. So thank you so much for this time. Hope you see you soon, and keep up. Thank you for everything.
Perfect. Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here. Have fun.
And for everybody, this was a new episode of SITS, the English-speaking podcast, sort of Entrepreneur. You can find more information in our website, which is www.entnerd.com. See you on the next week in the next interview. Peace. There we are. We just finished.
Thank you. That was amazing.
Thank you so much. Really, truly,